Week one of the high school football season, the Decorah Vikings will play host to the Walk-On Indians. Head coach Pat Trewin joining us. And Pat, before we get to talking about the football, obviously it's going to be very warm this week, probably as warm as you can remember, getting ready for week one of the football season. What type of adjustments are you making to make sure that you can prepare for your opponent in week number one, but do it in a healthy and safe way?
Well, these 3 days that are the hottest, we're going later, get out of the direct sun, starting practice at 5:30. We have some extended water breaks. We're encouraging them to get water on themselves, on their heads, on their necks, on their arms. And then we've got some electrolyte popsicles at the end. And then we're doing some cold towels. We're doing some wet cold towels and then we're shortening practice. So going about an hour and a half, trying to get them out there right before practice and get them off the field right after. So taking a lot of precautions. And then we'll look for people that are struggling, and I think we've had some warmth. I think we've had some acclimation the last 3 weeks, or they've worked hard the last 3 weeks. We'll work hard, but we're cutting out some drills too. So you do need to get ready to play, but you need everybody healthy. That's the most important thing.
Last Friday night, you had a chance to see somebody besides yourself when New Hampton came to town. What'd you take away from that scrimmage?
It was a good matchup. They have a nice club. They ran the ball right at us early on, and they didn't make mistakes. They're a pretty veteran club. So we'd love to go out and establish ourselves and win the line of scrimmage right away. Things that we still need to work on is still being even more physical. And we talked about that with the guys, but New Hampton's they're a fine group, and they're going to be pretty successful this year. They've got 14 seniors, 2 or 3 starters that are maybe 3-year starters coming back. And we've got a pretty good crew too. We were able to score the ball pretty quickly a couple of times. And, we passed the ball pretty well. We got the ball on the edge pretty well. Being able to move people in the middle and consistently come up with our combination blocks, those are the things we need to work on. We didn't spend all of our time preparing for a New Hampton style offense. We prepared for a variety of offenses too. So there was a lot of good. Probably the best thing is I don't believe we'd gotten any serious injuries. We got a tweaked ankle here, but we didn't have any serious injuries, and we learned a lot about ourselves.
And you've been at practice for 3 weeks right now. What's pleased you the most about the guys to this point?
Well, I believe that both our intensity and our polish coming off of last year with so many guys playing again, we started much better off than we started last year. And, I would hope that we even started better than we looked at the end of the season. Now we have some new guys added to the mix that they've got to pick up some things. But we certainly have, we have a lot more quickness overall, and we have a lot more depth overall. So those are things that are very pleasing. We want to go out and, get after it right away, go out and get some victories, have a really good start to the season. When you go into the season with quite a few veteran players, quite a few letter winners, you would hope that you can start the season well, and that'll be very important to us.
And when it comes to the experience factor, a lot of those veterans are in the trenches on the offensive line and defensive line. Is that a good place to start when it comes to experience?
Yeah, it sure is. There's so many nuances to blocking schemes, and picking up this and picking up that. It makes a world of difference to have some seniors out there and some starters out there. And then they understand the intensity of the game, because they had to be that intense last year. So we're very pleased to have that, and we've added a couple more linemen to the mix. We'll probably be playing 1 or 2 or 3 offensive and defensive linemen that didn't play as much last year. Some were sophomores, some were juniors last year that didn't play. So we've got a little depth there. We've got to perform at a high level with our depth, though. We can't just put the guy out there and say, oh, we've got depth and we're better off. I believe we're going to try to get guys in the game and keep the enthusiasm up of a whole lot of people. And I do think a lot of them can really play. So we're there. We do have some skill people back too. Kelly Gates and Brady Benzing and Caden Quandall and those guys. They played a lot last year. They were starters and starters both sides of the ball. So even in our skill positions, we have some guys back. Yeah, we graduated a bunch of linebackers in our quarterback and running back, and so those positions they'll have to really grow and grow in a hurry. But we have some people there that are doing a fine job in preparation.
Walk on your opponent this week. Obviously, you guys have been longtime rivalries, just 20 minutes away. Now you're 2 classifications apart, but what makes it a special game that both sides want to keep it going?
Well, they're so well coached. I mean, when you go with, the last 10 years, they've probably finished about as high in the state as most schools. Their overall record's good in our, since we kind of restarted the rivalry. I kind of look back at that. It's like, okay, yeah, it's been about, 6 years or so that we've played them. It's been back and forth, since I've been head coach, it's like 3-2 and stuff like that. And it has been barn burners of ball games. They got us pretty good one time and we haven't beaten them by a lot ever. It's been always a close ball game. So, and, they play in the same conference. They play each other in other sports. And so we love to keep it playing. They're going to be young this year. They had 20 some seniors last year, and they pretty much dominated what was going on. So they'll be younger and yet they're so well coached. And I know they put in their time in the summer that it'll probably be a really good ball game.
Wayne, when you look at the walk-on roster with a lot of new moving parts from a preparation and scouting report standpoint, are you kind of going into this game a little blind?
Yeah, in some ways. The big thing is that they are able to make adjustment with their talent. The years where they can really pass it, they'll chuck the ball all over the place. They really want to run the ball. But when you don't have veteran linemen and a lot of new guys, and then they have some quick skill guys, they'll probably still try to mix it up. But their schemes haven't changed drastically over the years. I doubt if they're going to change back to anything that's super traditional. They're going to want to spread you out to run the ball when they can, and they're going to spread you out and try to get some passing leverage. It's going to be important that we keep everything in mind that they like to do. Their screen game is a really good game. They throw some halfback passes. They fake punts on 4th down. And, we've reminded our guys of that. So, we know that they do those things, and I doubt if they're going to change a lot. They just have a very big arsenal of plays.
All right, Coach, first of all, practice-wise, stay cool this week. Keep guys healthy on Friday night. We wish you best of luck.
Thank you, Darren.
Pat Trewin, head coach of the Decorah Vikings, Week 1 matchup with Walk On coming.